Well, I'm Shelly Terrell. Welcome to American TESOL Presents Free Friday Webinars. Every Friday, free and completely open to the public, so you're more than welcome to bring friends. All of these are recorded as well, and if you go to this wiki, technologyforkids.pbworks.com, that's where all the presentation web slides and things like that are shown. So you'll be able to be connected to the different videos and stuff like that. So far we have 6, but we have about around 50 all together that we're doing. So we have quite a bit. You'll have to excuse me. I'm in Germany right now. So hello everyone from Germany. And it's about 10 here. We're going to talk about graphic organizers, and the best way, I think, to get into the conversation is to begin with a very famous graphic organizer. Now, just to give you a little background on graphic organizers, they come in all shapes, all sizes. They come with circles and squares, and basically, it's a way to visually organize thoughts. You can brainstorm with them. You can further apply, research, things like that. You can figure out how to write something, format, different things like that. So this is, does anybody know what this graphic organizer is called here? See if we can guess this graphic organizer. And you can just type it in the chat box. This is an extended version of a very, very, very popular one. Nobody can guess? Okay, very good. A KWL chart. You get some virtual chocolates. And the KWL chart, it stands for K for what you know. Yeah, exactly. Know, want to know what you learned. And does anybody know what the H stands for in this one? H is for how you can learn more. So it's for further research and further resources. So what I want you to do right now is I'm going to give you each presentation tools. You should be able to write. It'll take just a second so I can make sure you all can write. And I want you to go ahead and begin by writing in what you already know about graphic organizers. Some of you already have the writing tools, so all you have to do is go to the screen and choose the A text tool and just click in the K and then click, and then you can just type in what you want to know. And then you can type what you already know and then the W of what you want to know. Okay, so it's just the A button. All you have to do is click the A, and the A should be the only thing you click, please. The A is in the very right-hand corner, the right side. Okay, it looks like somebody's got it. Yeah, great, great. I'm going to try to make this as interactive as possible. What that means, though, is that if you click anywhere, it changes the screen for everybody else, so you may want to be careful where you click, please. Okay, great. So I see some people typing things in. Super. And if you can't figure out how to do it on the board, then you can easily type it in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to say it out loud. Oh, okay, I hadn't heard that. One of the strategies suggested by Marzano. Okay, I hadn't heard that one yet. Strategy for planning, okay. And if you don't want to type something you know, you can definitely type the W, what you want to know, so that's okay. And the presentation today will give examples for adult students as well as young learners. Okay, super, how to get into using them. Okay, so I'm going to stop it for now. Thank you so much for your contributions so we can head on a little bit. Thank you. Okay, so we'll get back to this. So you saw the KWL chart. Now the next thing we have is why. Why graphic organizers? Why not just have students take general notes? Well, the reason basically is because many of the graphic organizers, they help students think and organize information just like the brain. So the research shows that students actually retain more information because what they do is they categorize the information, organize it. They also connected to the knowledge they already know. So they bring these concepts together with what they already know, and they're able to build off of it. So they're able to really make these connections and retain the information. This is called cognitism, and this is why we have graphic organizers. So I'm going to begin with older students. This could be high school, this could be middle school, this could even be adult students, because this is an example of what this looks like in my classroom. So this is one level. This is where at the beginning, if you've never tried it before, one way you can do it is to do it together with your students. This is a concept map, and there's several different types of names and different graphic organizers. But this one I really love, because if you're a fan of Dog Me, which I know some people here are, and if you don't know Dog Me means getting the students to bring in their own ideas and have emergent language, and there's so much more. We could do a whole webinar on that alone, and maybe we will. So this really helps with this. So in one of my classes, we talked about business meetings. Well, all the students work in different environments. They have different meetings. So I didn't want to do one on a specific meeting and then it not apply to all the students. For example, I have one student who has teacher meetings. I have another student who does Chrysler or something like that, the automobile industry. So their meetings are going to be completely different. So this way, what we did is we went ahead and we started the class, and we started with the concept. So, and this is what this is called. You put the idea, and it could be anything. It could be geometry, it could be vocabulary, it could be a theme, animals, it could be a character in a story, it could be anything. So you write this on the whiteboard, the concept, the idea, you circle it, and this is the main subject. So that's what I contributed, meetings, okay? Now, my students, the rest of it, I wrote it, but my students are the ones who supplied the ideas. Now, this is the first step, doing it with them, getting them familiar for not just writing notes all in a line and writing complete sentences, but getting them to try a different way to take notes and have a discussion. So the next step was, they said, we talked about effective meetings and ineffective meetings, okay? So then it branches out, it expands with a student's idea. The next thing is that everybody contributes. Everybody says something. We do a round table, and eventually when they get used to it, then they just start saying ideas themselves. They get really involved in discussions, and then they add. The good thing is when they do add information, I write exactly what they say. Well, at least I try to. And then together as a class, if I say, and give them a kind of like, this isn't a really correct grammar because I work with English language learners, then as a class, we can correct it together. So that's how we deal with corrections in this process. Now there's another step where you can have the students come up and they can write the branches. But first, they have to get familiar with this concept because it's new to them, just like it's new with you. On the right side, you might notice that we have the vocabulary. As vocabulary comes along, as somebody says something that they learned previously, then we talk about it. Or sometimes they'll say something like, oh, I want to say this word, but this isn't the word. And they describe it to me. And then I put that vocabulary on the board. This is much different than when you think of if you do when you think of doing an article or something like that, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that there's already preset vocabulary for that. And this way, it's vocabulary they want to know. It comes up with a conversation, and it's connected to the knowledge they're bringing because these are their ideas. Now, you'll notice on the left-hand side, we did the opposite. And we also did, yeah, you can do this in a virtual room. That's what's great about it. It's so dynamic, and I'll show you more dynamic examples than this. This is just me and my students. So the next one is ineffective meetings. So we went on one side with, please don't click the arrows. Okay, someone keeps clicking the slides. Please don't do that. Okay. So now we're going to, let's see. Okay, so we had the green area, and the green area is, I color code sometimes. So this was the good, effective. So the bad meanings is what they called it, because at first, that was the word, the adjective they had. And then so I was able to teach them effective. And then we came up with reasons for an ineffective meeting, and then we had a discussion with this. Now, the whole time we take breaks. We don't just fill up the map. We allow the conversation to flow. So that way, because that's the point of it, is to get them to speak and to have the conversation. So each of them gave examples. Oh, this is what I think is a bad meeting. This is what I think. And then we came to an agreement of what we should add. There are different levels to a concept map. There's also different colors that you can do, and your color coding is up to you. So notice how the branches under ineffective meetings, well, then I put another one, miscommunication, and different things like that. So it all connects together. So this is what evolves. This is a big thought process, and each one for each class is going to be different. So if I have the same topic for one class, in a different class, it's going to be very different. Okay. But you don't always have to do this. You can also come up with several blank canvases, and you can give this to your students. I made this on PowerPoint, if it looks like this. This was when we had a discussion about different German and American traditions, okay? So the first box was, we said German and American cultural differences. And then each of the box, the students, I had them work in pairs, fill this out, and what they wrote were language, dining, the different things that they thought, the different categories. And then each branch, they wrote specific examples. Now I had them do this in pairs, and then after they got together and they came up with these examples, they presented this to the rest of the class, and then the rest of the class could go back to their notes and fill in things they may not have been able to fill out. A great thing about this is they can take this home. This can be part of their note-taking, and they'll remember this much better visually than if they just took the notes themselves. They can also easily make corrections and things like this. Another great thing about this is if you have an interactive whiteboard, which I don't, then you can easily give this to the students through email